All right, welcome everybody. Before we get into Scratch Ticket Thursday, we have a topic to discuss, a couple of topics, a brief discussion. One of the user Friendlyal recommended that we do a segment every week, and people give
topics.
Thank you. Topics on what to discuss, and so anything that is cool, awesome. I know I messed up your entire name. But he's a loyal subscriber, and he wanted us to discuss our thoughts on Cecil the Lion. For those of you who don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, I don't know if I'm getting all the facts right, but there was a dentist
Correct.
on an African safari. Was that what was going on?
That's how I understand it.
Okay, and he decided to hunt an endangered lion, or not an endangered lion,
A well-known
popular lion in Africa.
Correct.
Okay, I don't know if he thought he was Hercules or what, but he decided to hunt, which is forbidden or it's against the law or whatever was going on. He didn't have a license to do it,
Right.
and he did it anyway, and he killed the lion. And there was big uproar in Africa, obviously, because an asshole from the United States fucking did it.
Sure.
So I guess the question is, what are our thoughts? Well, so Kenny, we'll start with you.
I'm very opposed to any kind of hunting, especially when it involves not so much even an endangered species, but a defenseless animal. Whether it's a deer, whether it's a lion, whether it's a bear, I just don't see the sport in it.
What about a rhinoceros? Or an orangutan?
Even with them too. The only exceptions to that rule is if you're being attacked, if you're being charged, if you're starving to death on a deserted island and there's no other means to survive. There I understand it. But to sneak up on an animal who's defenseless, I just don't see the sport in it. I just don't see the reason.
Yeah. Here's the thing about what I feel. Do I think he should have done it? No. And I started thinking about this because on Facebook there are a lot of videos that are posted. There was one I saw the other day, this piglet. It's a piglet.
Okay.
Big ass piglet. And he had an infection or something that he thought he was going to die. He ended up surviving, but he was blinded by it. And I don't know if he's at a regular hospital or an animal hospital or whatever. It didn't specify, but he's extremely scared.
Sure.
Because he's blind. He's a pig. He doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
And there's this woman who takes care of him, and she holds him.
Okay.
And when she visits him and sings to him. I don't know if it's a him or her or whatever's going on with the pig, but yeah, and you just see the pig. It's just it's like a baby. You know what I mean? It's And so it's animals. I look at my dog Winnie. A lot of people say, well, you're so obsessed with Winnie and blah blah blah, and you love your dog. Yeah, I bet you'd give you'd want $1 million for it, and I'm like, no. I don't think I could give Winnie away.
Right, I don't think you could.
No, ever. And they're like, oh yeah, well if you had $1 million sitting in front of you, yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
I don't think
I would drive, this is how depressed and fucked up my mind is. When I was working at a pizza place in college, delivering pizzas, I had nowhere to bring Winnie. Couldn't leave her home. The neighbors would complain about her barking. She's separation anxiety.
Right.
So I tie her up right outside the pizza shop in Williamstown.
Okay.
And I drive by, and there was a song that was playing. I don't know what it was. I forget. Oh, it's Eminem's "When I'm Gone."
Okay.
Okay, Eminem's "When I'm Gone." I had it on in my car, on the CD, a mixed CD or whatever,
right.
And I would just freak out on my deliveries because I was worried that when I got back, Winnie wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? I would freak out. That's my fucked up head.
You have separation anxiety too?
Yeah, with my dog I do. Right. She's a great doggy, so. The deal is, am I opposed? And so I'm a hypocrite though, because, and so are you really, are cows defenseless? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're opposed to sneaking up on a defenseless animal, but a cow's defenseless and we eat cows. We eat meat.
Right, but if you have the money, if you have the means to pay for food, okay, pay for your food. If you are in a helpless situation where it's either kill an animal or starve to death, you kill the animal. Or if you're being attacked and charged, or someone in your family or a loved one is threatened by such animal and their life is in danger. Yeah, then I see the cause.
Okay, so you wouldn't eat a lion, obviously.
Right.
So it's okay to kill an animal if you're hungry for food.
Correct.
But it's not okay just to kill.
Right.
Okay.
Precisely.
All right. And then there was another topic we had actually discussed this morning. And I forget, somebody said, are you going to watch the presidential debate tonight?
Right.
And I said no. And he said, why? You don't vote? And I said no. And a lot of people are going to look at you, at least in the United States. I know we have a big following in the UK.
Right.
But for those of you in the UK who don't know how this works in the United States, there's a presidential election. And two, obviously, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the Green Party, and the whatever go at it. And the popular vote, unlike most contests, the popular vote does not win. That means the person with the most votes doesn't automatically win. There are certain states that get X amount of electoral votes, called the Electoral College. And when you add up those votes, that's who wins. So theoretically, somebody could have the most popular vote, have the most votes total, but not win.
Right.
And so my thought is, okay, Massachusetts is a Democratic state. It has been for a long time.
Correct.
Okay. At least since, I can't, I'm not sitting here like I'm 83 and I know what the fuck I'm going on. Sure. But I know at least since, what do you call it? Clinton was a Democrat.
Okay.
Bush was a Republican.
Right.
He got elected. And then Obama's a Democrat, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, Obama's a Democrat. So the deal is, but Massachusetts has always voted for the Democratic Party no matter who it was.
Right.
Majority. So what does my vote matter? It doesn't matter. If I'm a hardcore Republican person, my one vote is irrelevant unless there is a deadlock and my one vote makes the Republican primary win or whatever in Massachusetts. Right. But what are the odds of fucking that happening?
That's not.
I have a better chance of winning the lottery than I do of that happening.
Exactly.
Okay. So do I watch I don't give a fuck. And somebody who's like, well, you don't care who the president is? That's not what I said. But me watching the fucking election or me watching the debate's not going to influence whether or not that person gets elected. What the fuck am I going to do?
Not whatsoever.
And I remember in school they would always say, your vote counts. Don't think it doesn't, because it does. Every vote counts. Technically, by English language standards, yes.
Right.
Every vote counts. No, but in reality, it's irrelevant. So, not relevant. So anyway, every Thursday, folks, please, before we do Scratch Ticket Thursday, we're going to call it Thursday, or what are we going to call this segment? We could Thursday Topics.
Thursday Topics.
I was thinking of that, or we could call it Dining Room Table Discussion.
I like that too. Dining
Room Discussion. That's what we'll do.
Well, what grinds my gears?
Well, I could do that. I could do that. What grinds my gears? Yeah, I could do that as a separate segment and just go off.
What?
But Dining Room Discussions, that's what we'll call it.
Yes.
Dining Room Discussions.
Andy, I would like to take 1 minute.
Yeah.
To talk about something that somebody messaged in last week, I think it was, maybe the week before, saying that I'm a very quiet person. I keep quiet. I don't really discuss a lot. I kind of let you take the lead, although he did say our banter back and forth is nice. If you recall, a few months back, you and I were on our way down to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And you had the camera rolling, and you just asked me a few questions about my one son, Cameron, and I kind of went into a tirade. I do not recall.
For those of you who are wondering what the hell Kenny's talking about,
and you very well might be.
Okay, let me tell you the name of the video. Okay, right. I was going down. Kenny was driving me so I could film the TV show that was being filmed in New York City.
Correct.
By the way, August 27th. Get at me quickly. Tickets are going fast. If you're in the New York area or want to drive to New York City to see this, it's a private screening. There's an after party afterwards. Kenny's going to be there. The whole deal's going to be there. We got agents and everything going to be there. It's a big deal. Williamsburg Cinema, Williamsburg, New York. Okay, Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Right.
Okay, in New York. Get at me on this video, and we'll email back and forth to see if you want to come. It's free. And you'll be able to see a TV show that potentially could get picked up by major networks if it sells. If not, it'll be on YouTube and Vimeo and all that stuff. So the deal is, the video in question that Kenny's talking about is called, all right, and I just got to scroll all the way down here. It was done probably, what, 5-6 months ago?
I want to say sometime around January, February.
Let's see here. It was before our scratch ticket videos. I know that for a fact.
There was actually a second video too on the way home, but
No, it was the first video.
yeah.
All right, hold on. This is my video. This is a year ago, so wait a minute. I'm going way too far back. Okay, let us see here. It is called, here it is. Guy flips out on son. It was 6 months ago. I was right.
6 months ago. Very
6
good.
months ago, yeah. Guy flips out on son. There's 2 parts to the video. I would recommend seeing the first part.
Right.
It's 10 minutes long. Kenny, basically the story goes, Kenny's son, Cameron, owes him a ton of money. And it's one thing after the other. He made some poor life choices, not like horrific life choices, but to the point like he's a drug addict. Or
No, nothing like that.
Bad life choices, fell into some debt, fell into some rough times. And Kenny bails him out like any parent would begrudgingly do, but because it's your child, but at the same time want to kill him. So he was supposed to drive me to New York.
Correct.
And what does he do? He calls Kenny up and says, hey, by the way, I'm fucked. You're going to have to help Andy out. I just decided to help somebody move out of fucking nowhere.
Right.
And he ended up getting, that's a separate story. He ended up getting fucked for his money.
Yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah, so, but the bottom line here is Kenny ended up having to drive me. And Kenny was not fucking wanting to drive me. So guys, check out the video. Yeah, I think every week, comment on this video if you guys want us to talk about certain topics.
Absolutely.
Dining room discussions.
Dining room
This will be the
discussions.
first video. Dining room discussions #1.
I like it.
Kenny Utz. Guys, stay tuned for Scratch Ticket Thursday. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.